Today is the final day for drop ad at the University of Kentucky. So in theory, Ivisic needs to be enrolled today in order to be a student at Kentucky. He is not enrolled today. Now, Saturday morning, oddly, his name popped up in the student directory, but then it was gone by Saturday night. I'm not sure exactly why that happened. But he is not here, and as I understand it, is not in the country. Today is the day they were hoping to have him here. That has not happened. Now, the holdup that I've heard is that the University of Kentucky admissions office has at this point not let him in. And there's a process. He cannot get a visa to come to this country unless he is admitted as a student. So UK has to admit him as a student. Then he can get a visa, and then he can come. So he can't even come here right now without that. UK is holding it up, from what I understand, because he has not, according to them, passed an English equivalency exam that they accept. As I understand it, he has passed an English equivalency exam, but it's not one that the University of Kentucky accepts. There's another one they do accept that has like 4 parts, and I think maybe one of the parts he did not pass. He did pass the other ones. Now, the university can grant a waiver and allow him in. Other schools have done that and apparently will do that, but as of now, Kentucky has not. I think it's fair to say that the folks around the basketball program are frustrated. There are other programs that are going to take him if we don't. As a matter of fact, I think there's a decent chance that if it doesn't happen today, he may end up at another school. The president's office has the ability to allow him into school later this week. So even though today's the final day, they could waive it in. But they're not going to do it if he's not admitted into the school, and as of now, UK admissions has not let him in. My take on this is very simple. University of Kentucky is a great school. You graduated from it, right? At the same time, the vast majority of people that apply to UK can get in. And I think if you have a kid that if you listen to him talk, I mean, he's not the greatest at speaking English, but there are other students at UK that aren't the greatest at speaking English, some of whom were born here. I don't understand why you wouldn't let this kid in. I really don't. I mean, you bring kids who are good at a lot of different stuff to school. I'm a big believer in bringing diversity of all sorts to school. Well, here's a person from a country that we probably don't. I don't think we have very many Croatians that are at the University of Kentucky. And basketball is important to this school. We shouldn't act like it's not. So I'm very surprised at the decision. I think if it goes much longer, he's just going to go to another school. There are some schools that start later in the year than us that he can get in easily. And we may lose a guy that is very important for this team because of admissions. And I, Drew, am really surprised about that, aren't you?
I am too. If this is truly just a UK thing, not even an NCAA thing, it sounds like.
The NCAA, just so you know, the NCAA has nothing to do with it. Mitch Barnhart has nothing to do with it. This is an admissions decision at the academic level at the university.
What are we doing? I mean, we've seen the video. He went to the combine. He's in with the Pacers. There's the video of him doing the interview there. His English was fine. Listen, I failed English twice in our community college system, and they let me into UK, no problem. My friend had an algebra class that he dropped because his professor didn't speak great English. I mean, we have diversity all over campus. We need to get the big Croatian in, and we need to get him in yesterday, because if he goes to another school, that is a nightmare situation for this fan. We will all collectively lose it if he shows up in another jersey and it was just that admissions couldn't handle it on our end. Not that it's like he played pro and the NCAA doesn't allow it, this or that. If it's truly just UK admissions, I mean, the whole fan base will go wild. As I understand it,
he's cleared by the NCAA, and he is clear. And I have not heard that Mitch Barnhart would be negative about it. It is an admissions decision, and I mean, look, I'm all for academics. I probably care more about academics than the vast majority of the people. But with that said, it's college, and this is not Harvard and Yale. It's a good school, but it's not Harvard and Yale. And having this kid here is not going to degrade the university system in any way. And I think we've probably let a lot of people in to play sports at Kentucky that might not have normally gotten here. So I don't get it, to be honest with you. It seems like an odd time to all of a sudden like be strict in what we're doing.